For this therapy session, the therapist will be utilizing Haley's strategic therapy with a focus on erectile dysfunction. Let's do a quick overview of the Haley strategic therapy concepts. Haley believed that a symptom served a purpose within the family system. This model is ahistorical and does not focus on insight. Hierarchies, behavioral loops, power distribution, and family rules are all analyzed. The first session follows a specific format. First is the social phase, then it goes to the problem phase, next interaction phase, and finally goal setting. Potential interventions include ordeals, paradoxical, directives, metaphors, go slow messages, reframing, and pretending. A potential goal would be structural reorganization utilizing second-order change, also known as a change in rules of the family. Once the presenting problem is resolved, therapy is terminated. For the initial session, the therapist will focus on utilizing reframes, metaphors, paradox, and the go slow message.
Hi, I'm Rochelle. I'll be your therapist today. So I take it you're Misty and you're Brock.
Yep.
Okay, will you guys tell me a little bit about yourselves?
You go.
I'm Brock. I'm 35 years old. I am a loan specialist at Toyota.
Okay.
Don't really like my job. It's super stressful.
Yeah.
I kind of feel micromanaged. There's a lot of pressure to perform a certain way, and there's a lot of really rude customers.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah. So what else do you do besides work?
We have a son. His name's Ash. He's 10 years old, and I coach a soccer team 3 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah, we have fun with them.
That's cool. Very involved in Ash's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, what about you, Misty?
Well, I'm 33 years old. I am a defense attorney. I've been on for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Like he said, we have a son, and I am head over his PTA club at his school. And then also I make sure that he gets to every appointment that he needs to, doctor's visits, soccer when his dad can't take him. And then I also manage the finances in our house. So that's what to do.
Yeah. Defense attorney, and then you have all those other jobs underneath that. Yeah. So what do you guys do together? I know you mentioned that you do soccer with Ash, but you do the PTA and all other stuff with him. So what do you guys do together as a couple and as a family?
Well, we used to do a lot of stuff with the church, like hiking trips.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, hiking trips with the church, do a lot of stuff like youth camps for the church and stuff. What else would you say we do?
Yeah, we have volunteered as chaperones for that kind of stuff, and then Ash would be like participating in those. We go on hikes sometimes outside of church as a family, movies, things like that.
Yeah. So do you guys do like anything as a couple together right now?
Yeah, we like cooking together. Yeah, we actually met at the soup kitchen, volunteering for our church. So cooking kind of brought us together, I guess.
You guys like cooking like fancy meals or just simple things?
I'd pick out. I mean, grilled cheese and brownies.
Comfort food.
Yeah.
It's all about the comfort food.
Yeah. Sounds like church is a big part of your lives.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it is to me.
Yeah.
It's not so much to him anymore.
Because you met at the church?
Yeah, we met when we were teenagers.
Right.
The church.
In the soup kitchen. So is that why it's such a big part of your life?
Yeah. It's just like how I grew up and stuff in the church. And again, like when we met through our church and everything. So it's always been really important to me.
Okay. Brock, is church important to you?
Church used to be important to me. I still believe in everything, of course, because just like her, I grew up, my family was really into the church. But like a year ago, I stopped going with them because I just feel like if you're going to go to church, then you need to practice what you believe. Otherwise, it's kind of hypocritical.
Okay. So, So Brock, so you feel like you are being hypocritical with the church?
No, not me.
Okay.
Here we go.
So are you not involved at all in the church anymore?
No. I do my own thing. I watch sports on Sundays now.
Okay.
Uh,
And you still attend?
Yeah, I take Ash. We go to Mass every week.
Oh, okay, I see. So why do you feel what's the hypocritical piece of that? What are you talking about there?
this is a sensitive topic. It's going to open a lot of stuff up right now.
Okay.
Well,
Let's just take it slow.
okay, well, about a year ago, I had some suspicions that something was going on with her, and so I looked at her phone, which is really out of my character. I don't usually do stuff like that. But I looked and I found some text messages that kind of hinted at maybe an affair. So I talked to her about that, and lo and behold, she was cheating on me. So ever since then, I just don't feel like I need to go.
Okay.
I'm
So-
really listening to talk about that. He said he forgave me.
Okay, so church was important to you, and it sounds like it still is, but you just would rather not go because of the affair.
Right.
Okay,
It's too much hurt.
there's too much pain there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you choose to still go.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I mean, because although I made a mistake, he said that he forgave me, and God forgives everybody. So
Okay.
he's also not living by the values by not forgiving me if he isn't going because of that one reason.
So it sounds like you want to move past that and both forgive each other and both hold true to the values of your church and both attend, right?
I mean, I already told him I would never do it again. Like I said, he said that he's okay and he wants to move past it, and now all of a sudden here we are talking about this.
I don't really think it's forgiveness that is actually like the problem that brings us here today.
Okay,
Though.
so then what? So since it's not trust or forgiveness, then what's your idea of the problem, Brock?
I mean, yeah, I don't trust her, but I feel like our sex life has been immensely affected by this cheating incident because before this whole incident, we were each other's only partner. We were abstinent until we got married. We got married at a young age. It's always been just us. And then introducing an extra partner into the mix has kind of made me feel insecure. Like, what if I'm not as good as the other guy? What if I can't,
So
I don't know what
and-
else you want me to do. I already said sorry. We moved past it. It happened a year ago. Why are we still talking about this?
It's still affecting me.
So in your mind, you feel like the problem is, correct me if I'm wrong, but you feel the problem is that you can't perform because you guys can't have sex because you're comparing yourself to someone else?
Yeah.
And okay. And for Misty, what is your idea of the problem? You heard Brock.
I mean, I just think that he doesn't want to have sex with me anymore. Whenever we have sex, he always backs off. He doesn't want to do anything. I'm the one who always has to initiate sex. He never does. And then when we do try, he stops. He doesn't want to do it anymore.
So it sounds like you're feeling that rejection. You're feeling unwanted and unattractive, and my husband doesn't want to have sex with me anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like he's unattracted to me.
That's not true.
Well, you show differently.
I tell her all the time that I'm attracted to her.
You might show it.
Okay. So you say those kinds of things. You say, hey, I think you're beautiful, and you give her those kinds of compliments.
Yeah.
So it sounds like Brock is attracted to you. It sounds like, maybe there's just a problem there, for him with in the back of his head kind of thinking and comparing himself to someone else. So it sounds like he does find you attractive. Did you kind of hear that
I
from
hear
him?
what he's saying, but just it is not shown whenever we are trying to have sex.
Okay. So she's kind of feeling like You say it, but you don't show it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So Brock, you're feeling scared, but you want to have sex.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
So what are your thoughts, like what do you think about when you see your wife and, in your words, your beautiful wife, what do you think of it? I know you're attracted to her, so what are your thoughts after the initial attraction?
Well, after that goes away, then I start to get nervous, like I said, and I start thinking about how the sex was with the other guy and if I can measure up to that. And then stuff happens and it goes south from there.
So I heard you make a noise. What did that mean?
I mean, he doesn't want to have sex. That's the thing. Is he doesn't try.
Okay.
Like I initiate everything. I try to set the mood, wear something nice, have flowers in the bed, and when we start, he'll just say, I can't do this, and he'll, want to leave the situation, which makes me mad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll ask him, why can't he just do it? Like, you can't have sex with your wife.
Okay.
And he doesn't.
Okay. So, going back to Brock, I really feel like what I'm hearing, is it's like going back to your work. You said you work at Toyota Financial and you're funding loans all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're being micromanaged, and it's just you customers yelling at you all the time, and talking about that, it sounds like sex is like a job to you. That you're like, it's like your job because you're feeling this pressure. You're being, micromanaged, and she's the one that's like initiating it. And you're feeling like you have to perform a certain way and meet that high standard, or meet a high standard,
Yeah, I've never seen it that way, but I don't think she realizes like how distressing this is for me. Like our relationship is really important to me, and my inability to perform sexually the way that I used to has really impacted our relationship, which really makes me stressed out. It hurts me.
So it sounds like this problem is distressing for not only you, but your wife, for Misty too.
Yeah, I know she's hurt.
Yeah. And Misty, I can kind of see where sex is like your job, and your multiple jobs, because you were explaining that you have a lot to do, right? So you're in control, and you have to manage things, and you manage all of Ash's doctor's appointments, and you manage the finances between yourself and Brock, and in sex you kind of initiate it, and you kind of are managing that in a way.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it, especially since he won't initiate sex. It makes me feel like I have to.
Yeah.
So, because he won't do it at all.
And in that, Brock is saying that it's so distressing for him. It's very stressful for him to not be able to perform, is what it sounds like. So in that, I'm kind of getting that you do want to perform, but it's so stressful, it's so hard. Because of those fears at the back of your head.
Yeah, and there's not much I can do at this point to overcome them. They just really take over, no matter how much I'm in the mood or how much I want to. I mean, there are times that I've wanted to initiate, but then the fear takes over.
Will you tell Misty that?
Misty, there are times when I'm in the mood and I want to try sex, but those thoughts of me not being good enough for you really scare me.
What is your response to Brock?
I hear what he's saying and I get it.
Try to maintain eye contact.
I hear what you're saying and I get it, but I keep trying to tell you, the reason why I initiate sex is I want you to know that I'm attracted to you and I want you, but you don't see that and you just keep pulling away from me.
So you both kind of heard each other's part there, right? So, Misty, since you initiate the sex, kind of play by play. Like, I kind of want both of you to kind of be involved here with this discussion. Play by play, what happens? Like, what does that look like? What does that sex cycle for you guys look like?
Like I said, I always initiate it.
Okay.
So that's what happens is I'll try to like set the mood. I'll set candles up, flowers and stuff, putting on a nice outfit, and then I'll ask him to come in the room, and we'll start kissing and stuff like that, and then he just stops.
Okay, so you put on a nice outfit, you kiss her, you guys are, kissing, and you're attracted to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then what happens next?
Well, it's like time,
Right.
and then the thoughts come in, and then I stop just because it's embarrassing, like I said, and she gets angry about it. So.
Well, I get angry mainly because like he can't keep an erection with me. Like, what does that mean to me? Like that makes me feel like I'm ugly and he doesn't want to do anything. So that's why I get angry and I'll start asking him why he can't do it. Like should it be this hard to have sex with your wife? I try to, initiate different things to do and he just doesn't want to do it. And he leaves.
So you try different things?
Well, yeah, I try to
Okay.
maybe let's try something in a different position or do something else and he won't do it.
So let me see if I got this here. So you dress up. First, I'm sorry. You initiate sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
You dress up. You put on something nice. You throw flowers on the bed, and you walk in and you see her, and you're attracted to her. Am I getting this right so far?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Brock.
Mhm.
Okay. And then Brock starts kissing you. You guys start kissing, and then you start getting scared, and you kind of back away, or you lose an erection and then you back away.
It depends. Sometimes if I'm really in the mood, I still try, but other times I'll back away before I lose the erection.
Okay. And then when he loses the erection, you become so upset. You become angry because that's hurting you. You take that as like, from what I'm gathering here, it sounds like, Misty really needs and really appreciates that intimacy that sex brings for the two of you.
Yeah.
And so it's hurtful that, you're not getting that. So you become angry and lash out at him. And then you kind of, give her space, right?
Yeah, I mean, she expresses herself sometimes pretty loud and blunt, but then I just give her some space. I don't know, I just feel like she needs some time.
I don't need time.
You don't need time?
No. I wanted to fix it right then and there. Like, let's try to do this.
Okay, so after you try to give her space, you're trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's part of your cycle as well. You initiate, you dress up, you're interested, you kiss, and then you have thoughts, you back off, she becomes angry, you back off even more, and then she's like, no, I want to fix this right now. Right?
We should be able to manage this.
Right. And so it sounds like that cycle. So in that, since we've identified your cycle, what are your goals for therapy? So Brock, what would you like to get out of this?
I'd just like to be close to my wife again and be able to be intimate with her without being fearful.
Okay. And Misty, hearing his goal, do you have a similar goal, or is your goal something different?
I mean, yeah, I would say that it's similar in that I want to regain that intimacy between us, that closeness that we once had, and also feel attracted by him.
You want to feel more attracted, and you want to have that, you know, maintain that closeness with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
So because of the lack of closeness, you feel like you're not attracted. Okay. So you guys sound like you have some similar goals here for yourselves. So, you know, if with your permission, would it be okay? You know, okay. So let's kind of find out the nighttime schedule for your family before I give you this. What time does your son Ash go to bed?
Around 9 o'clock.
He goes to bed around 9?
Yeah.
Okay. But he's like, is he asleep by 9 or?
Yeah, like at the latest, he's in bed and asleep by 9 o'clock.
Okay. And okay, so with your permission, would it be okay at say like 9:30 every night? Let's just to be safe. At 9:30 every night, engage in your usual sex cycle. So that cycle of you initiating, you dressing up, and you know putting the atmosphere out there that you want to have sex, put it out in the atmosphere that you want to have sex, and then you know finding her attractive and kissing her, and then you know that cycle of then you backing off because you're getting those thoughts in your head, and then you becoming aggressive because you're upset, you pulling away, and then you becoming even more aggressive because you want to fix the problem right then. So that sounds like that's your cycle that we identified earlier. So 9:30 every night, engage in that usual cycle and argue.
I'm sure we could do that. We do that anyways, so I'm sure we could.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Shouldn't be too hard.
Okay, so at 9:30 every night.
Okay.
You gotta do that. You guys both willing and able?
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
You guess?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So I know that, you know, things just, you know, things aren't gonna, I know you want like a quick fix, Misty, is what you were saying,
Mhm.
right? I don't know about you, Brock. Are you into the quick fix too?
I'm willing to put in what it takes.
Okay. So I know you're into the quick fix. However, you know, that's not really how therapy works. It's not like bang, bang, boom, you know, we're cured. Like, you know, so it's more of, you know, change is just not sudden. It takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you guys, in order to achieve the goals that you guys, you know, set for therapy, it's really important to remember that it's not always going to be so sudden. And, you know, kind of taken away with that is that before you see me again, you know, and you guys are doing this, 9:30, you know, your usual cycle and arguing, things might get better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things might start to improve, and then there's always a chance that things can go back. So there's always a chance of regression here, and that's really important to remember. And that's important to remember because you might feel like, oh, this isn't working, but that's really normal. You know, a lot of people might experience that. So it's gradual. It's not going to happen. And you know, when you guys are arguing, just take your time.
Okay. I think we can manage that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know that Brock feels really scared when he wants to have sex, and you get so upset. But maybe, you know, backing off a little bit and being a little bit more patient with that may kind of help him.
I guess I can try that. I'm sure I can do it. So we'll see you next week?
Yes, would you like to set up a time?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys. Well, it was really lovely meeting the two of you.
For this session, the therapist utilized the reframing technique with Brock and Misty by reframing their negative emotions as functional behaviors. Therapists also utilized the metaphor technique with Brock and Misty by explaining that both of them see sex as their job. The therapist also gave the couple a paradox by asking them to take time every night to engage in their sexual behaviors at 9:30, and the therapist also utilized the go slow message. In this clip of the second session, the therapist will be bridging the gap from the first session by recapping what they discussed and checking in on the directive assigned.
Hi again.
Hello.
So, how are you guys doing today?
Good.
I know last session, we really talked about, well, I kind of gave you something to do, so, to argue every night at 9:30. So how has that been working out for you guys?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely argued every night at 9:30, and at the beginning it just felt really natural because it's just something that we always do.
Sure.
But towards the end, it started to feel more like a chore. So it kind of, for me at least, it made me feel like I wanted to argue a little bit less.
Okay, so so you kind of just were arguing, and that's kind of your normal thing, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I kind of feel forced to, and then kind of push back on that a little bit.
Yeah, for me.
Because of the force. What about you, Misty?
I mean, I agree with that. It was just kind of silly for us to sit down and try to argue every single night at the exact same time. It's almost like I personally lost that fire to try to push him into having sex because it was just weird. Like 9:30 every night. We're gonna do this, so
yeah,
it's unnatural.
So did you kind of see any improvements, Brock, with your, last week you were kind of really talking about that fear you were feeling, and it kind of made you hesitant. Are you feeling that a little bit more, or are you feeling it less now that we've done that homework?
I think it helped a little bit because I was able to know what kind of expectations were there for me. I knew every night at 9:30 that we were going to try to engage in this cycle, so it wasn't so spontaneous, so I had more time to mentally prepare for it.
Right, okay. What about you, Misty? Did you see any improvements on intimacy or any, any setbacks there or any improvements?
Well, I didn't feel the need to try to force the intimacy to happen.
Okay.
Just because I didn't feel like I had to fix the situation since he wasn't pushing back as much.
Okay. And so, I think this session we can kind of continue on increasing intimacy and discussing more about your intimacy and how ways we can kind of, and try to improve that.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, so let's get started.